Member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, the Honorable Richard Blumenthal.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Bud. Thank you to the town of Summers for hosting us on this wonderful, moving, significant occasion. I apologize in advance. I made a commitment to be out of state today, but I rearranged things so I could be here. I'm probably going to have to leave before the end of the program. But I am deeply honored to be here because I am a member of the Veterans Affairs Committee in the United States Senate and also the Armed Services Committee and a proud member of the American Legion, and my dues are paid. I know because I personally wrote the check just about a week ago. So I am really proud to be here because the American Legion is such an important part of our fabric of national defense, literally our national security. Two of my sons have served in the military, one as a Marine in Afghanistan, leading in a platoon of infantry, another as a Navy SEAL, both deployed around the world. And I know how much what you do means to our active duty military and to our veterans. I was saying to some of my colleagues earlier that when the American Legion comes to testify before the Veterans Affairs Committee, it's the gold standard. There are other veteran service organizations that are equally important, VFW, Disabled American Veterans, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. The American Legion has a special place in our hearts. And Post 101 is a real success story for the American Legion. Just in the last 6 years, it's grown from about 7 members to 350. What a remarkable story. And it's due to the activity of your leaders and also your members. So I want to congratulate and thank you on this centennial. Thank you for your continuing contributions to our nation. Thank you to the leadership, our state and national American Legion leadership for being here today. And I have, in honor of this occasion, a certificate of special recognition from the Senate of the United States. Just to put you at ease, it was passed overwhelmingly by a bipartisan majority. We should be doing that a little more these days. And I also have a flag that has been flown over the United States Capitol. And I'm not going to take the flag out of the box right now, but I'm really honored that our nation's capital, our United States Senate and Congress, and all of us who care about America are deeply indebted to every American Legion member. And today I express my personal gratitude to Post 101 for showing us a wonderful path toward patriotism, service of our veterans, and we need to honor our veterans not only in word, but in deed. Leave no veteran behind. Keep faith with them in health care and job training and all of the ways that we make promises. Being here today reminds us of that duty that we have as a nation to our veterans. Thank you so much for having me today. God bless our great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Maybe I'll present this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks for all your great work.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
We would also like to welcome our honorable guest speakers. That includes State Representative Kurt Vail, who represents the 52nd District of Summers and Stafford, and serves as the ranking member of the Veteran Affairs Committee, as well as David McCafferty, Post 101 Commander. Distinguished guests also include American Legion leaders, alternate National Executive Committeeman Bob Murray, Department of Connecticut Commander Tom Flowers, Jeff DeClerc, and National Vice Commander of the New England region, Paul Spedalier. I and the Board of Selectmen are pleased to present this proclamation to the Buck Dubail Post 101. Proclamation for the town of Somers, Connecticut. Whereas the American Legion was chartered by Congress in 1919 as a wartime veterans organization based on the 4 pillars of Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, National Security, Americanism, and Children and Youth. And whereas over the years the American Legion has become a preeminent community service organization which now numbers more than 2.5 million members, men and women, and over 14,000 American Legion posts worldwide, working in a variety of programs that support the 4 pillars and benefit our nation's veterans, its service members, their families, the youth of America, and its citizens. And whereas the members of the American Legion are dedicated to the upholding of the ideals of freedom and democracy while working to make a difference in the lives of fellow Americans. And whereas the American Legion is celebrating its centennial in 2019, and the observance of American Legion Month provides an opportunity to recognize Legionnaires in our community for the many contributions to Somers. And whereas the Somers Buck Dubail Post 101 continues to fulfill the Legion's many patriotic missions by veterans serving to preserve the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy. Whereas the First Selectman and the Board of Selectmen recognize and acknowledge the American Legion on their 100th anniversary. Now therefore I, C.G. Budnor Jr., First Selectman of the town of Somers, Connecticut, do hereby proclaim April 18th, 2019 as the American Legion Day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would Representative Kurt Vail please come up?
Thank you, Bud. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. I was born and raised in Stafford, but Somers has become like a second home to me. You guys, when you do everything, you do it big. There's always a big turnout at the elections every year, #1 in the state turnout, and that's how active and concerned people are in this district and in this town, and it's an honor to represent you. Senator Kissel, he wasn't able to make it today, but this citation is from him and I'm going to read it. And forgive me, I forgot my reading glasses, and this is kind of written in Old English, so I'm going to do my best to get through it. So, it's from the State of Connecticut General Assembly official citation, introduced by Representative Kurt Vail, 52nd District, and Senator John A. Kissel, 7th District. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to American Legion Somers Buck Dubail Post number 101 in recognition of American Legion Centennial Day. The members of the Somers Buck Dubail Post 101 have continued to fulfill the Legion's mission through its many programs, enduring our country still stands strong, our founding principles still shine, and doing the utmost in making a difference in the lives of others. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion, and expresses the hope for continued success. Given this 18th day of April, 2019, at the State Capitol, Hartford, it's signed by President Pro Temp Martin Looney, Speaker of the House Joe R. Simowitz, and Secretary of State Denise Merrill. So I'd like to present that to Dave now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, thank you. And again, this year I got named ranking member of the Veterans Affairs Committee, which is a pretty big deal. I'm very honored to have that. And anything you need, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. I'd like to turn the program over to David McCafferty, Commander.
Good afternoon. Welcome. I wanted to, before I started my remarks, there's a representative from Congressman Courtney's office that he was not able to attend today, but on his behalf, his representative is here to also present an award to the Post.
Thanks, Senior Chief. So, I'm retired Navy, so I don't use microphones. My name's Manny Meneses. I'm a retired submariner. I serve at the pleasure of Congressman Courtney. I've been working for him for about 3 years. So I just wanted to extend our services to everybody here at Summers and the Post. If anybody needs anything from our office, please feel free to contact me. I gave Dave my card, so he has the in now. Just give me a call. I wanted to present this flag from Congressman Courtney in the 2nd District of Connecticut. It was flown over to U.S. Capitol on the 11th of April. We folded it this morning. We didn't leave it in a box. So here you go.
All right. Fantastic.
And, well, you know, I'm a sailor, so we can fold a flag. And then we go, and we have our certificate that goes along with it. So thank you very much for inviting me here today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's take a picture.
Oh, all right. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. So I have just a few short words I wanted to bring up, and again, I wanted to welcome everyone here today. It's a joyous occasion to be here and to recognize the Legion Centennial here in the town of Summers. I believe this is considered a historic event. So I also would like to thank our distinguished guests here today, Representative Kurt Vail, First Selectman Bud Knorr, Second Selectman Kathy Devlin, and Third Selectman Timothy Patrikas, as well as our distinguished Legionnaires here today. I wanted to just provide a short background on the history of the Summers Post. Our post this is actually technically or physically our 86th year. However, the Summers Legionnaires have been present for 100 years. We originally were in Ellington, in the Ellington Summers Legion Post back in 1919. And what happened basically was the members of Summers grew so large that they then created their own post in 1932. And so the post continued actively. I think at the highest number in 1955 they had 165 members. And then it started to dwindle down, and in 1972 the membership got low enough that they decided to stop having regular meetings. And when they did that, then membership started to struggle. And over the years, those numbers dropped all the way down to 7 members back in 2012, and the post was on the verge of collapsing. So I was actually I had already been a member of the Legion since 1999, and shortly before I retired from the U.S. Navy, and I got a call one day and was asked, would I be interested in trying to restart the Summers Post. So I decided I would make an attempt to do that, and I was appointed commander by the 4th District, and in 2013 I started the recruitment effort, and so our growth has been phenomenal, and we did go from those 7 members back in 2013 to where we are today, over 350 members, and still growing. In fact, a new member joined just last night, so we were doing quite well. So since then, in the last 7 years, we have, besides the membership growth, we have increased our activities and our community events. A lot of folks are familiar, perhaps, the folks that are in this area. We have we take care of the cemeteries in town with the veterans' graves. We have memorial services for Veterans Day and for Memorial Day. We have events in the school systems. We participate in the parades. We arrange to flag all of the cemeteries in time for Memorial Day. Recently, in the last 3 years, we took over the Flags on Main program from the town, and we take care of putting a flag in almost every flagpole, telephone pole along Route 190, and also roughly 50 or 60 on 83. So this year, our goal is to get a flag on every pole from the Enfield line to the Stafford line. And for the future, as we continue to grow, I actually never thought I would see this in my lifetime, but we've had more and more call for post hall because right now our meetings, the average post meeting in Connecticut often is 15 to 20 members. Our post meetings have 80 to 100. So we're looking forward to the possible future of acquiring a post hall. Also, in the back of the room, you'll see to commemorate the event, we've got our junior vice commander Paul Martinello in the back, who is dressed in World War I doughboy, and he is often in our parade events. And we recently last year at our Fort Town Fair parade, we had the World War I tank also participate, and the post received first place in the parade. And we have a lot of other new initiatives in the school systems for our children and youth programs, and also a lot of new activities with the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. And so we are going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to have a visible presence here in town, doing a lot of great things for the community. So with that, I'd like to turn over the microphone to the next person from the Legion, and that is our 4th District Commander, Jeff DeClerc. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm also a submarine sailor, so I'm going to take the lead from Manny, and I'm going to go without a microphone. Good afternoon, Representative Vale, First Selectman Knorr, Selectman Devlin, Selectman Patricus, fellow Legionnaires, residents, and friends. Today's a great day. It's a great day to be part of the Summers community, a great day to be a member of the American Legion, and specifically a great day to be a great day for the membership of Buck Duviel American Legion Post 101. As Legionnaires across the country are coming together this year to celebrate our 100-year anniversary, I thank everyone here today for joining American Legion Post 101 in today's ceremony. When the veterans of World War I gathered in Paris in March of 1919 and laid the foundation of our great organization, they could not foresee that the American Legion would grow to become the largest veteran service organization in the country with over 2 million members. 100 years later, we still stand by the 4 pillars of our organization: Americanism, national security, Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, and children and youth. And we continue to honorably serve our veterans and our local communities. We are well aware that after all the ceremonies are over, the hard work is only just beginning. It is now our responsibility to ensure that the American Legion, that the heroes of yesterday established, continues for the next 100 years. As I mentioned during a visit to a post-101 membership meeting, anyone who wants to know what the American Legion can accomplish within their communities, all they would need to do is to attend one of their meetings. Every member of Post 101 fulfills the goals of these pillars on a daily basis. I thank the membership of Post 101 for what you do. An American Legion post that fully supports their town creates a better community, one that is proud of the service and sacrifice made by their veterans. I would also like to thank the residents of Summers. The support of a community towards their local American Legion post creates a better American Legion. And I thank you.
I'd now like to introduce alternate National Executive Committeeman Bob Murray.
Good afternoon. Let me start by saying that it's a wonderful time to be a part of the American Legion during this centennial year. Many exciting events will be taking place all year long throughout the country, but for me, it's especially exciting to be here with you today, celebrating this occasion with one of my absolute favorite posts. My personal relationship with Post 101 goes back a number of years, and we've walked together through the bad times and the good. Several years ago, I would have found it hard to ever imagine being here today, but thanks to a new breath of strong leadership and positive enthusiasm, Post 101 has become successful and committed, truly fulfilling the mission that we envision for each of our posts. It appears to me that the town of Summers has completely embraced the Legion and all that we stand for. Membership drawn from the local community has skyrocketed, which shows to me that the post has successfully demonstrated its value to the citizens of Summers. I know that soon Post 101 will once again have a permanent home to call its own, and that will be a source of pride to the town. But in the meantime, the membership will continue, as always, to care for veterans and their families, to mentor our children and youth, and to instill a sense of patriotism and Americanism among the community. All this can be accomplished only through mutual cooperation between the town and the Legion, and I congratulate and thank the people of Summers for letting us being a part of your last 100 years. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce National Executive Committeeman Joe Jackson. Thank you so much.
I know you guys are under the water. I'd like to bring greetings to the post. You know, you're a true American Legion family here, and that's what the main intent was, to have a Legion post in every community, in every town. Back in 1919, they thought it was a way veterans could get back into their community with recognition of what they did when they served in the military, and also the community could take advantage to help them get their lives back together. I think you've done that here in this town. And I remember years ago, you couldn't find a person's name of record to contact if you wanted to come to this post. After I met Dave McCaffrey one time at a district meeting, I just had to sit next to him. He convinced me that he was doing the right thing, and it's evident here today that he's brought this Legion, his community, back together in the true spirit that the American Legion started out to be. To be part of your community, to be the people that you respect for what they did in time, and to help out. And Dave has taken that. I don't know why your name wasn't tagged on there somewhere today about a little special recognition for this gentleman. He has already served as a district commander, had a lot of great ideas, but he never stopped working here. He's told us on numerous times, post comes first, family, American Legion. I would like to thank you for what you've done. Your people in your town recognize what you've done, and it's huge. And people should take a lesson from what's on here in this district. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. I'd like to invite our Department of Connecticut Commander, Tom Flowers.
Thank you, Commander. First Selectman Knorr, members of the Board of Selectmen, Representative Vale, Commander Dave, to my fellow department officers, members of the American Legion, the officers and members of Summers Post 101, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how proud I am to be here representing the 18,000 members of the American Legion in the state of Connecticut. In 1919, our Constitution was drafted, and that Constitution remains just as it was drafted today. And when we drafted our Constitution, we drafted our preamble. The preamble is 10 clauses, 10 principles by which we live, 10 principles that we believe. And one of those principles is to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation. And who exemplifies that more than Summers Post 101 and the town of Summers? That's fantastic. Just the number of people here is outstanding. I can't say more. We are proud of Summers Post 101 right here in Summers. And we thank you very much, Commander, for everything you do. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite to the podium our National Vice Commander for the Northeast region, Paul Spitaleri.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, First Selectman Knorr, town officials, American Legion Post 101 Summers Commander Dave McCaffrey, State Commander Flowers, members of the American Legion family, and dignitaries. It's an honor to be here to celebrate this afternoon with the town of Summers, our centennial. I also bring the greetings of our National Commander, Brett Rystad, who's in the Department of Iowa this week. And his mission is to celebrate our legacy. And between March 15th, which was the official birthday of the American Legion, all the way till Veterans Day of this year, we need to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the American Legion. And you're doing that here. We did that up at the state capitol on March 13th by proclamations that were given to the Department of Connecticut and the national organization, which will be presenting to the national commander at the spring meetings, if they allow me to do that. I'm from Connecticut. I'm from Lebanon, just down the road. I've known Dave from when he started to rejuvenate the post, and it is remarkable from struggling to where you're thriving in the community. And when the community supports your post, then you've accomplished a lot, and that means a lot for the American Legion. Because if you go into your community and you say, what does the American Legion mean to you? Is it just the bar post? Oh, the American Legion, they sponsor Boys State, Girls State, scouting, what have you. And you've accomplished that, and I appreciate that. And the other thing is when he first started, I says, you got to be a chief in the Navy. And he goes, I was a senior chief. And I said, well, that's all the better for that. But I had a book speech here that I wanted to do, but I'm not going to do that today because we don't want to lengthen it any more than we have to. And but on behalf of the national organization, I want to congratulate you and your post members, because you don't do it alone. You need to have a team behind you to make it be successful, and you have that team. And press on, my friend.
Thank you, Paul. Now I'm wanted to acknowledge the Legionnaires present today, both from our post here in Somers, as well as I see many faces from other posts in Connecticut. So welcome. We really appreciate that you were able to come out here to Somers, as well as members of the community in Somers. I really appreciate it. It's very heartening to see you all here today. I would like to say thanks again for coming out, and again to the distinguished Legionnaires that made very, very kind comments towards our post, and I hope to be continuing to fulfill that mission of the American Legion today and in the future. So I'd now like to turn the microphone over back to our first selectman, Bud North.
Thank you, David. I want to reiterate and emphasize what the distinguished members have said about David McCaffrey. As David has indicated, the American Legion is the nation's largest veteran service organization aimed at advocating and supporting veterans and active military and their families. We here in Somers are fortunate to have such a proactive local chapter headed up by Commander David McCaffrey. His organization, leadership, and involvement are responsible for the 350-plus members and growing that truly cares about our veterans. Thank you, David, for all that you do, as well as our appreciation for the service of all of our veterans, active and retired. Thanks again, David. I'd like to turn my microphone over to Kathy Devlin for a few comments.
Thank you all for coming. I want to thank all of you, because the growth of this Dubio post, I forgot what the other one, Buck Dubio's post. And I think about what has happened over my 20 years as a selectman. You have made us remember. You have made us believe, and we're so grateful for what you do. I've been to most of your ceremonies. When David first started, and then I remember the one at the cemetery with all the markers and the work that you did there, Wreaths Across America, retirement of the flags, and everything I always attended made me believe more and more about how we have to bring this to our community. And the fact that you decorate our streets and you have respect for the flags makes it all the better for all of our selectmen and for our citizens to see this on a routine basis. We're glad you're here. We want you to grow, and we're here to help you. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for coming, and we have some refreshments. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much.